Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our first Atlanta Gamer Life interview of the month. And we've certainly had VTubers at Siege, and speaking about, oops, how come I've got volume working on it? See, that's why we need more professional streamers here. Things I thought were muted weren't. Now, we've had VTubers speak at Siege, Simfest, and other GG events past, but we've never had a game about a VTuber, so I'm looking forward to this discussion tonight. So, before we turn it over to Kimmiko from Atlanta Gamer Life and Kevin Cow Studios, let's tell you about next week. On Tuesday next week, we'll be having our monthly GGDA meeting. We hope you join us here at this channel again to get more depth on game development. So if you enjoy this stream, make sure you join us, and if you're in our Discord, you'll be able to take part in one of our collaborative game art workshops. In addition, we've had a number of game jobs popping up in our Discord channel. So if you're looking for a job in the game industry and you're in our Discord channel, go look for those. All right, now it's my pleasure to get the heck off of this stream and turn it over to the stars, Kevin and Kimmiko. Take it away.
Oh, hi! How's everyone doing today? I hope you guys are having a great month. And today is Cinco de Mayo. Woo! So, and also today is Mental Health Awareness Day. So, just wanted to give shouts out to all those who are in the field to help mental health, as well as those who are just striving to better themselves and show awareness towards mental health. Now, outside of that, let's talk about who we have in the room, Mr. Cat Stevens.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
All right, so today Mr. Stevens is going to be talking about this game that he made called, how do you say it?
Smol Ame.
Smol Ame. Let's go ahead and look at the game real quick, if we can.
All right.
Okay. So, tell me a little bit about this game. We're going to do kind of like a playthrough, walkthrough. First off, tell me about yourself. How long have you been into video games?
I've been into video games. Like, have I been into them or developing them?
Into them first.
I've been into them since before I can remember. My earliest memories are watching my brother play games. My older brother play the NES. How long have I been developing them? I've been kind of dabbling here and there for many years, for like most of my life. But I've really gotten serious in like the past 4 or 5 years. Yeah, like especially since Unity, I found Unity, and like that makes it a lot easier, a lot of things easier. So really got into that.
So let's get into the game a little bit. Tell me about how this game works and what's the goal of this game. So
the goal of this game is to ground pound, because nothing beats a ground pound. Okay, so it's a little background on the game. This is a fan game based on a VTuber who goes by the name of Amelia Watson. She is part of a group of VTubers called HoloLive. Now, a VTuber, if you don't know, is a streamer who, instead of appearing on the screen as herself, she has like an anime avatar that maps her facial movements and whatnot, and that is this character, Smol Ame. But her character doesn't actually look like this. It's a more anime character. This is someone drew this little chibi version of the character, and it became kind of a meme among the community. And I thought, and he specifically made this little ground pound animation based off of a joke she made about ground pounding moms, and that became a meme. And so I thought it would be fun to make that a game character just to run around. It was really just supposed to be a small project to make him like a weekend where I would run around and ground pound, and it kind of got much bigger. So yeah, this is a fan game based off of a fan art of a VTuber. So it's and people make fan art of this game. So it's just like a never-ending stretch of fan art building on fan art.
So I see right now in the game, it's a 3D kind of platformer in a sense, and you're collecting mustaches. Where did the mustache idea come from?
Yeah, well, so the main mechanic is the ground pound, which does many things. Like I wanted to make it, in games you have this idea of verbs, where there's a really good Game Maker's Toolkit Game Maker's Toolkit video on like Mario's jump. It's a very flexible verb. It can do many, many different things. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with the ground pound. Is that I wanted to make it like the attack, the traversal, and make it activate switches and stuff, because that's the whole game is based on the joke that she made about doing a ground pound. So I wanted to make that a game mechanic. And so it's just a whole platformer about ground pounding. And the mustaches kind of came later. They were just kind of, games need coins. What will I use for a coin? Well, the mustache is one of her symbols. So I thought that would be a good coin pickup. And then the clock that you saw up there, she's a time traveling detective. So the clock is the checkpoint. This little dog icon. She has a dog named Bubba who often interrupts her stream, but that's her. Another one of her icons is that little Bubba symbol. So I thought that would make a good major collectible. Yeah, so I just kind of like built around like what do I like to see in a platformer, and how can I make this ground pound mechanic interesting? And here's one way I made the ground pound mechanic interesting. Is that if you ground pound into a slope, you get a really big boost of speed. And that was just kind of like a little fun thing I put in there that I didn't think people would notice or figure out. And they figured out immediately, and that helped create like and that helped sorry, kind of lost my train of thought. That helped like build this speedrunning community. Like they saw that part where she gets zooming, and they thought, "Hey, that's really fun. How can we turn that? Let's see how fast we can beat this game."
Okay, so you actually have a timer on the game. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Is like the timer. That was like a last minute thing I added to the game. Was like, I don't know. Let's put how can I make people want to play the levels multiple times? Because there were only 2 levels initially, and so I just kind of like that was like a last minute thing. I threw the timer on, and like right after I put the game up, people were already like comparing their times and saying like, oh hey, here's my time, and my best time when I released it I think was like 29 seconds on the first level, and I thought that was a pretty good time because I used these 2 little time skips that I had intentionally put in, and then like within a day people were beating it in like 15 seconds. And doing time skips that I didn't know about.
Oh, okay. So, let's go back into the character, the VTuber itself. The VTuber is what's her name again?
Sorry, I need to, let's see, figure out how to turn you up and turn my game down. I don't know, I'll just pause it for a second. Sorry, what were you saying?
What's the VTuber name again?
Okay, so she goes by Amelia Watson.
Oh, Amelia Watson.
And so that's what Ame is short for, Amelia. And so she's they call her Ame for short.
Okay, so with Amelia, can you tell me a little bit about what got you, like, how long have you been following her or been a fan of Amelia?
Not super long. Like, this is kind of... so this HoloLive group has been around for, I don't know, I guess a few years now.
Okay.
The English branch has only been around since last September.
Okay.
Uh,
So where are they? You said an English branch. So then, where are they from?
so normally, like most of them are located in Japan. That's where it started, is in Japan, and then there's like, I'm not sure how many. There's 20 something of the girls in Japan, and then they started the Indonesian branch, which there are 6 girls there, and then there are 5 girls in the English branch. But the English branch really helped it blow up. Like that's like when I got into it. Was when they but obviously I don't speak Japanese, so it was hard to fully appreciate the Japanese girls, but there was still a following among the English fans because people. Yeah, so that sound is one of the girls has a really funny laugh.
Mm-hmm.
This level is based on her. Her name is Pekora.
Okay.
She has a really funny laugh, and people have kind of memed it so that like the laugh is represented visually by an arrow. Usually the arrows are like going random directions, and that was initially the idea, is to have like the arrows are the obstacle of this level. You know, she's laughing and the arrow, you have to dodge the arrows, but I found that having them go in different directions was kind of annoying, so I just have them come straight down. But yeah, so Pekora is one of the Japanese girls, and she's I can't speak Japanese, so I can't fully appreciate her streams, but there have been a lot of people who have helped make the Japanese girls accessible to people who don't speak Japanese on YouTube. They'll take clips from the streamer, from the Japanese girls, and then translate them for us to appreciate. And so in the chat you can see people with the arrows.
How many map levels do you have right now?
How many? Let's see. So I think I have 1, 2, 3, and I have this moon level over here for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I have 9.
I didn't see the cloud. Okay, so you have
So the clouds are and this is another thing, is that I wanted to make the stage select. I wanted to make it like actually part of the game, not just like a menu or a map. So I wanted to put like every level on a little platform that represents that level. Like this level is a song. It's based on a song called Mogu Mogu Yummy, and she's singing about how much she likes food. So one of the platforms.
I gotta go to that one. I gotta go to that one. I want to see it.
So it's a really catchy song.
Weird thing where I love food and I love games that have food in it. So let's see.
So these are all like, I had different foods that showed up in the level and that she talks about. Here's the pizza, the sandwich, and here's the character is Nekomata Okayu. Kind of one of the main mechanics in this level are these platforms that she eats the platform. So this is like a little pixel version of her that appears in the music video for this song. So I made it part of the game mechanics, and then like pretty much visually everything that appears in this level comes straight from her music video, or is adapted in some way. And this is kind of like my process, is like, oh, I like this song, I think it would make a good level where you're like jumping around on food and stuff, so I do that. And I find different ways, like, okay, I'm going to have these Mogu Mogu cloud platforms, I'm going to have these little Okayu platforms, and like, what can I do with them to make them interesting?
And you built this on Unity?
Sorry?
You said you built this on Unity?
I need to figure out how to turn the sound on the game down. Yes, I made the game on Unity. And yeah, it's yes, I made the game on Unity.
Okay, cool.
And then I always like to have like these cool moments in the levels. So like right here, you get a camera change, and the music changes, and you're running away from a giant Okayu who's trying to eat you, and you have to actually you have to run away. But yeah, I try to like do interesting things with the levels instead of just jumping on platforms. Oh, let's see if I made the timing kind of tight. There we go. And then at the end of the level, she really likes onigiri, so I end the level with a giant rice ball.
Yeah, Kevin, one of the things I really like in this game is how you've handled the game progression. So the first levels are very minimalist, a lot of fun, but very simple, and then you add and add. Uh-oh, what did you add on this moon?
So the moon, this is a level that I basically wanted to do Mario Galaxy style gravity physics, and so I decided it would be a great use of my time to spend 2 weeks completely writing the physics and camera just for this one level. So yeah, it's a whole level based on gravity physics. And it's also got a great song by another one of the HoloLive members, who goes by Muna. I mean, you'll hear in a couple seconds, but she has an amazing voice. Well, once I get past all these bloops. But yeah, this was kind of a case of like, okay, I want to do gravity physics. What can I put in that? UFOs. UFOs don't really have anything to do with Muna, but they were easy to model. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. But yeah, I mean, I kind of try to make every level interesting and unique in some way. And it, starts with a basic idea, like I want to do gravity physics, or I want to do a level where the platforms move in time with the music, or it might just be like in the Mogu Mogu level, I really like this song and I want to use it. And then sometimes it doesn't super work. Like right here, I had this idea where you basically jump from platform to platform, and like the gravity switches in the middle. And when I've watched people play, like they didn't quite figure it out. So one of the HoloLive members on Gargura, she streamed the game and she really struggled with this part. And so that's kind of, I'm sure any game developer knows the struggle of like, hey, I can do it, but it's hard for me to understand like how hard it's going to be for someone who didn't make the game. So I'm basically in the next update, I'm going to kind of revisit that part and see if I can kind of explain it better and make it easier to understand.
Yeah, some people get paid big bucks to do game progression, so nice job keeping it in here. Go ahead, Kimmiko.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, or at least on the board have like some kind of arrow or something, so they know that there's a chance for you to kind of flip over. Because as soon as I saw you were able to flip over and see, go on the other side of the saucer, I'm like, oh, cool, awesome. It's just that having to like learn that and discover it is great as well. But just little hints maybe would be pretty cool if you feel that people are not getting that concept. Now, have you ever made any other type of platforming games besides this one?
I have made many. I have never released any. Yeah, I mean, I make a lot of prototypes. The only other games I've released besides this are one called it's called Zoom and Boom. It's all one word: Zoom, the letter N, and Boom. It's basically F-Zero with Tron light cycles, or I guess maybe more accurately, Tron light cycles, but you can like drive on the walls like an F-Zero. And that's one game that like I look at it and I feel like I definitely should have polished it up more. And that was kind of when I was making this game, like I remembered I wasn't happy with the lack of polish in certain elements in that game, so I made sure to focus on that when releasing this game. The other game was called Hexonex, and it's a pretty simple little puzzle game, hexagon-based puzzle game. That, I mean, it's simple, but I'm pretty happy with it. It feels like a complete game. But yeah, those are the only other two games like I've officially released.
Now, what do you
like game jam games on it.
Did you ever go to school for any of this, or was this all self-taught?
Yeah, so I went to I have a degree in IT, the focus on software development, but the thing is, I didn't learn like, you know, I learned a good amount there, but as far as like game development goes, and even the software development element, I've learned more by doing stuff, by just trying to make games than I actually did at school. Like they got me on a good path to, like, you know, here are the basics of object-oriented programming. Here's, you know, what here's a good direction to go in terms of how to learn. But like, I wouldn't have been able to make this game just by what I learned there. Yeah.
Oh, we actually have a question from the audience. Beanberg wants to know, how did he get the background animation to the moon level?
Oh, I mean, that is just a skybox, and I just changed the offset slightly so it looks like it spins. And I mean, it was a skybox I got off the asset store, but I applied a kind of purplish filter to it to make it suit, because Muna's color is purple. So I applied a purplish filter to it, and then it unexpectedly had this effect where, like, when it rotates around, like the background it gets really like red and pinkish, and it looks unexpectedly amazing. So I think that worked out really well. This level is based on actually the first VTuber I knew about. Her name is Inugami Korone, and she kind of specializes in classic retro games. So I decided to make her level in the style of a classic retro game. Partly because the background music you hear is this is one of her themes, and it was actually done by, I forgot his name, but he did the music in ActRaiser, the original ActRaiser on the SNES, and he was actually a fan of her, so he did a song for her, and that became her new theme. You may have heard when I first started the level, it was actually a different version of this song. I actually programmed a random chance that it would play a metal remix that was done by Family Jules, who is, if you look at on YouTube, he has a big following on YouTube, and he does metal remixes of songs from video games and other things, but usually video games. And he officially got permission to do a remix of this song, so I thought that would be cool to have like a little random Easter egg to have that occasionally show up. But I reset the level so I could have the original version.
It seems like you put a lot of thought in the, I guess, the fandom of this game. Like, Including, okay, tell me about the dog. You got to tell me about the dog.
Okay, so this is one of Corone's symbols, or like her little mascot. Its name is Hoso Inu. It's there's a whole story behind it, but basically it's a cute dog that she has on stream sometimes. And so I did a little pixel art version of it. Like, I wanted to figure out how I could integrate it into the level, and I thought it would be cute if you just wrote on it. And then I also thought it would be fun to put a little secret if you could, like I wanted to hide the secrets in this level in a more, the way you would get them in a retro game. So this one is like super hidden, and some people watching might not have found it, but there's a little collectible up here that you can only see if you look at it's a slightly different color in the background. But yeah, so the little dog is just one of her mascots. I thought it was cute. Yeah, I've got another little I made this last part and I realized it might be too hard, so I put kind of you can end the level here if you want, but if you want the final collectible, you have to do this final little gauntlet of bouncing, because it you focus for a second.
There's that pound.
Oh no. Yeah, it's oh no. Okay. I mean, I can do it, but it's hard to talk and I don't know. Yeah.
So how do you decide the music that plays for each level?
How did I decide?
Yeah, what made you decide the music that's played for each level?
And when does the alt music kick in?
So the alt music is a random chance. It's just kind of randomly. Sometimes you'll get a different version of the song. How I decide is usually I like a song and then I say I want to make a level based on that song. And I usually try to keep it to either Hololive, songs that are done by the Hololive girls, or that they use in the background of their streams, or remixes that fans have done of their songs. So the song that's playing right now, this is a lo-fi remix of Amelia Watson's main theme that someone did. He goes by Salty Hotcakes. He's I used it without I used it without asking him at first, and because I didn't expect people to really actually play this game, but then a lot of people did. So okay. But I felt pretty good because he's this 14-year-old kid, and suddenly, and he made this background song because he was a fan of Amelia Watson, and then suddenly, thanks to me using it in my game, and I credited him. I didn't ask him, but I did credit him, and I did make sure to tell everyone this is where I got this music from. But because I used it in the game, now she played the game, and she really liked this music, so now she uses it in her stream sometimes. But yeah, that's sorry, went off on a bit of a tangent, I think.
It's cool. I was trying to write down the question. Something about where did you make?
Yeah. So, what has the reaction of the community been overall?
Incredible. It's the Hololive fans are probably the most supportive, positive fan base I've ever encountered. I've been in a lot of fan bases, and somehow I don't know, they're just I don't know if it's just my perspective or whatever, but yeah, they really like this game. They're really excited to see more of it. They but I mean, more than that, they're supportive of each other. They're supportive of the the streamers, it's yeah. As for specifically this game though, it's been kind of just like just a crazy. I didn't expect it to be as big as it did. That I didn't expect the girls to stream it. First, Amelia Watson streamed it, and then her friend Gargura streamed it, and together that has they have over 1.5 million views on those streams, just between those two streams, which is crazy to me, and like over 250,000 plays, which is crazy. And then there's a dedicated speedrunning server that I didn't make, just some people liked the game so much that they made a Discord server just for my game, my free little fan game, back when it only had 2 levels. It's just, I don't know, it is crazy to me that, so much has happened.
And how many people are in that speedrun Discord server?
Yeah, there's over, I think, 950 at this point.
Well, they were saying over 1,000 in the chat, but that blew my mind too.
Maybe, or somewhere. They were approaching it at last I checked. This level, I hope the music isn't too loud. But this is, that's not too bad, because this is a really good song. So this level is based on one of the members who goes by either Hachama or Akai Hato, or, depending which one of her split personalities she is at the moment. It's a long story. But basically she sometimes she is this cute, bubbly pop idol star who sings this song about the big red heart, which is what Akai Hato means. And then sometimes she does this split personality called Hachama, who is very crazy. So I wanted to kind of represent that in this level, where you have this, cute, bubbly part where you're jumping on clouds, and there's big red hearts in the background. And, well, it takes a bit of a turn. But yeah, this was the first level that I released after I released the game with the first 2 levels. And like I really wanted to get it out because I knew that Amelia Watson was going to play my game on stream. And so I wanted to get it out before she played it, so she would have 3 levels to play instead of just the 2. And she had quite a time with this level. She got stuck on one part for, I think it was like 30 minutes. So yeah, so here's where the big twist takes place. Like, so you've got that doesn't say mom, that says wow. Why does that say wow?
I was looking at that, I was like, wait a minute.
So now music changes to the Hachama song, so this is the Hachama part of the level. And kind of the joke here is that she cooks weird things. And one time she cooked and ate a tarantula. Like actually the person cooked and ate a tarantula. And so you're in this big cooking pot and there's tarantulas. And this is the part that Amelia got stuck on for a really long time. And so I think I reworked it a bit. I think it was like the platforms were kind of weird. Let's see. There we go.
So, Alex Laverde asked, do you have any advice for any other people who want to make fan games for HoloLive?
I don't. So make the game and make it fun.
The animation at the end was so cute.
Oh yeah, so I'll get back to that question in just a second. So this is the other character another character that I added. This is Gouda, the other streamer who played my game. and she's good friends with Amelia, so she's I wanted to give her a different ground pound, so she slams into the ground with her head. Yeah, she's a shark. She's an apex predator. Okay, advice in terms of making fan games. I don't know. I did want to talk about like why my game took off the way it did, and I have a few thoughts on that. Initially, my thought was just I made a game based on something that was popular, so it became popular. I was kind of downplayed my own contribution, but I saw that other people have made Hololive fan games that didn't take off nearly as much as mine has. So I was looking at like why did mine take off? Because some of them are pretty good. Like I don't want to say like mine is the only good one. Some of the other fan games are quite good, and I think that the reasons mine stood out are that it like the visual style is simple. I'm not an artist, but it's interesting. It doesn't look like other games, especially with what I've done with the camera. I did something interesting and unique with the camera. I think if I had just made like a pixel art platformer, made it play exactly the same and everything, it wouldn't have been quite as eye-catching. And it may have like even looked better, because I know my game is, like I said, I'm an artist. Like most of the good things about the game come from the game's graphics come from the adorable sprites, which I can't take credit for completely. I did animate them a little bit, but so I mean, I guess my advice would be do something interesting that other people aren't doing. Do something that's eye-catching. The other thing is, I think I just got lucky when I posted it on Reddit at just the right time, so that it happened to be seen by a lot of people and upvoted and reached the front page, and then Amelia saw it and wanted to play it, and when she played it, that made even more people aware of it, and then like it reached the front page of Reddit, which got people who didn't even know about the Hololive thing interested in it, which I guess is the other point, is make it a fun game outside of the context of being a fan of Hololive. That I've had a number of people who've never even heard of Hololive tell me that they had fun with my game, just because it's even if you don't get all of the memes and references, it's still a pretty simple but fun platformer. And yeah, make it interesting. Do something that is eye-catching, that if you only see a video of the game, people won't immediately dismiss it. They'll say like, hey, I want to see more of that game, which I know is a really vague thing to say, but that's because like which games manage to become successful is like a really nebulous thing. People spend millions of dollars researching how to do that and still wind up producing games that flop.
So here's another question. How do VTubers feel about you using content they created though?
So I've been really lucky in that Covercore, the company that runs Hololive, is incredibly supportive of fan works. So they I was a little iffy when I first released the game. Like, man, are they gonna shut me down for using their characters and their music and stuff, or like, am I okay doing this? Like, how is this gonna work out? And so I figured, I don't know. So I was worried at first, but then when they got in touch with me and said that Amelia Watson wanted to play it on stream, that was that kind of was a big sigh of relief, both because it was validating, but also because it was like, oh, okay, so I am allowed to do this. And the streamers themselves are pretty. The two who have played it seem to really like it, and said they wanted to see more, and were really happy with all the references and stuff. So yeah, that's been really a really good feeling that people they like my game, and the people who it's a fan game of like the game.
Okay, Alex has another question for you.
Okay.
Alex says, I think I remember seeing you mention that you might release a game like this that isn't associated with HoloLive. Are you still planning on doing that?
So I've been kind of looking at different avenues that I could somehow turn this into something I can make money off of, because as is, I can't sell this game, because that's part of that's kind of the line, or one of the lines they have is like, okay, you can make fan stuff, we'll support fan stuff, we'll even promote fan stuff, but you can't sell it. So I would like to continue making this game as it is, but I also unfortunately have this thing that humans have where they need food and shelter. So I need to find some way to be able to make money. And so that's kind of one idea I've had is that I might take this core game that I've made, rework all the HoloLive stuff, and this version of the game will still be free. I'm not going to take this away from anyone. But yeah, so that's kind of like one idea I've had is to replace the characters with an original character and an original setting and everything.
So if you had
Sorry.
so if you had like an original character, tell me about what your thought of one original character would be.
So one possible one that I've actually started implementing in the game is this little cute little cow that I've used as my avatar, and went ahead and implemented it as a playable character. So if I do have to make it an original game, I will probably use this little cow. But I'm not really sure beyond that, like what the setting will be or stuff. I don't know. It's kind of I'm sort of like juggling between figuring out what the new version of the game will be, and but kind of the problem is I keep getting new ideas for levels for the existing version. Like I hear a song and I'm like, oh, I need to make a level based off of that. Or like a big thing is that so on one of the girls who goes by Ina, her birthday is coming up on the 20th, and so some people rented out several Times Square billboards on that day, which is crazy, like in a great way. That's amazing, and so they're kind of getting they want to like compile fan art and stuff to put on the billboards. So that kind of inspired me to start working on a level based on Ina, because I'm not an artist. I can't do much drawing, but I can do game development. That is my art form. So maybe I can contribute, a little clip of a level based on her. So that kind of I was planning on kind of winding up development on this version of the game and moving on to the new original version. And then this happened, and I was like, okay, I'll make this new level. You stay down, don't jump up here. There's a cat.
I think you need to put a cat on your next one too.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, since
I saw someone in the chat say they wanted me to say this to you. So, like, the core mechanic is that you can bounce certain platforms and you'll bounce into the air. But something that was initially actually kind of a bug, but I liked it and other people liked it, is that if you bounce on the edge, you get a big horizontal boost. And so that's the big thing people have done with speedrunning this game, is that they, like, find where they can do these edge bounces and bubba bounces to just fly through the level.
That is so cute. I think one of my favorite parts about this game is that it's so relaxing. Like the vibes that I get from it, like your choice of music is happy, but also at the same time relaxing. Like if you stay on this one, I'm gonna start going like this, like I'm so sleepy.
Yeah,
because it's so relaxing, and the speed, like it just like throws me off because I'm like, okay, we're gonna jump, and then boom, I'm like, whoa! So it gives you a couple, fun little, I guess mechanics in the game, and I honestly believe, you should totally like take this whole game and make your own version of it with your own original characters. Because if this is something you really love to do and you enjoy watching the fans play it, why not do more, and keep on doing more of these definite fan base ones. Okay, this doggy. Oh, wait, what is that? Whoa, no, come back. What is that? What is that button? There's a button. Oh, it's a red button.
Dog. Yeah, so that's the character selection switch. I've actually, in the next version,
So
the dog is this is
what is that?
So this is the Korone, the streamer who does more retro games, who does who that dog is from. She played Mega Man, so I put together this quick little Mega Man sprite edit, and so I just kind of threw this into the game as a little bonus Easter egg. And that's kind of like a lot of the stuff I put in this game is like, I think that would be cute, or I think that would be funny, so I'll do that.
So, just for those who don't know, where can they find this game to test it out and play it?
So the game is on itch. It's itch.io. It's free. It's called I guess you can see the title in several places, but Smol Ame. And if you just search it, if you just search it on Google, it'll probably be the first result.
Okay, cool. And do you have any other games on itch.io as well?
I have a few little like game jam games that I've worked on, but nothing like complete. I made a game called Legally Distinct Ghost Maze VR.
Say that slowly.
Huh?
Say that very slowly. Legally
Distinct Ghost Maze VR, which is
I'm gonna write that down.
Definitely not a VR version of a classic arcade game about running away from ghosts in a maze while eating pellets. It is a completely unique idea.
Wait, eating pellets?
I made VR Pac-Man and gave it a dumb name.
That's dope. I like it. You know what? I don't know if you guys ever played VR chat, but there's this one room that I've been in, and it was like a VR maze, and it didn't have pellets, but I got lost in it. So I think people like these little mazes to get lost in.
Yeah, it's easy to get but like that's the thing, is that when you what I found when I made this VR version of Pac-Man is that if you put yourself in like the eyes of Pac-Man, that's not an arcade game anymore. It's a horror game.
Wow.
Because you're going through these dark hallways. You don't know when the ghosts are going to come around the corners. And I'm not the first one to notice this. There's a game called, I think, Dark Descent or something, where they basically made Pac-Man but a horror game. But I do think that's interesting how, like, games, just like changing in perspective like that, can completely recontextualize what kind of game it is. But yeah, no, that's kind of like one of the. I do lots of dumb little experiments like that, and that is one that I've uploaded.
So Alex asked again, is Smol Ame, is that one of the top 10 platformers on itch? Is that true?
Is it? I know that it was. I don't know. I'll go look. Hopefully.
Meanwhile, talking about experiments, like what part of games do you like to experiment on? Because I noticed you have you notice like a different type of way that a game goes, or try to see a different point of view of the game. What kind of things make you kind of want to experiment on the game itself?
So the thing I'm most interested in is like the core, the core, just the core gameplay, the core way your character moves around and stuff. I'm interested in doing interesting things like that, or not necessarily moves around, but the way you interact with the game. Like I will, I will spend hours just tweaking the game so that it feels right. And like most of my ideas are along those lines about like what would be an interesting way to interact with the game. Like, so in this one, the big one was, it would be interesting if there was like a game where ground pounding was the main mechanic, and then what can I do with ground pounds? And then like another experiment I made was like this game. It was a VR game where you have a camera, and then you can like take pictures of things, and then when you take the picture, it like captures the thing and puts it in the camera, and then you can like place it somewhere else by taking a picture again. So like if you take a picture of something big in the distance, and then point the camera at something closer and take another picture, it'll place the thing in front of you to be really small, or vice versa. Now, if that sounds like the game Superliminal, that's because they did literally exactly my idea, except it's not VR and it's much better than my idea. They went way further with the idea, but it was kind of this is like mind-bending puzzle game concept I had. Or like another game was just basically I want to do Titanfall style wall running and platforming and stuff, but in VR. So I did that.
As you get more closer to saying VR, would you actually consider remaking this game into VR, or a platformer like this into VR?
I have definitely thought about like making a 2D platformer that is VR compatible, and like that is definitely an idea I've had with this game. Kind of the thing that is, I won't say stopping me, but kind of like making me hesitant about it is that I would have to definitely rework the camera, especially when it comes to that gravity level, because that would make people sick. But I do think that is a really interesting concept of doing I'm big into VR, but I think something that bugs me about VR is that when people think VR games, they think, it has to be a first-person game where you are reaching out and like interacting with stuff, and like they all have to have this mold, and those are great. But that's not like you can do anything in VR. You don't have to be limited to that. And like so, a 2D platformer in VR that doesn't necessarily do anything gimmicky with the VR. It's a 2D platformer, and you can look around and see stuff. That is something that I would like to do. And there was a demo on PSVR. They had this demo disc that had like, here are these upcoming games, and one of them was called Star Child, and it was that. It was a 2D game, like a 2D platformer, but it was in VR. And I was like, this is super cool. I really want to see more of it. And then it got canceled.
What?
So, so as far as I know, I don't think there is a 2D platformer in VR. I don't think I've seen anyone do that.
So if you had money to invest in Smol Ame, what would you spend it on?
If I had money to invest, I would, let's see, hire an artist, hire a level designer, hire a musician, and I mean, like if I were making an original game out of this, like those would be the top three priorities: or hire or contract, and then make it like, you know, if I had enough money that I could make it my sole focus for the next year or two. I would spend the rest of the money on, you know, rent and food. But yeah, I also definitely feel like, I mean, like you were saying, a VR version, that is definitely something I would look into, like adding that mode.
That's cool. And like, what are some of the newer goals as far as the platform itself? Any new kind of mapping do you think you're going to try out?
Mapping?
Yeah, you know, what you're going to like, what kind of mechanics on the map do you think you want to try out?
So I've been kind of updating on Twitter with some stuff about, like, the level I'm working on now is kind of like its big mechanic is that, so Ina, the girl whose birthday is coming up, her thing is she likes to draw. And or like that's one of her big things. She likes to draw. She's incredible at drawing. I don't want to downplay this. So I made the level about drawing, that like as you're playing the level, like the platforms kind of draw in, you know, as you progress. So that's kind of the big mechanic in this one. And let's see, I'm also planning on doing a boss fight, which is, I've kind of teased a couple of times. I don't know what else. Like I have a whole bunch of ideas, but I don't want to like say too many of them because I might feel obligated to do them. But then there's like, you know, levels where I think there's songs, like popular songs that the Hololive girls have done, and I'm like, that would make a good level. Like one of the girls is her name is Maureen, and her thing is she is a pirate captain, and so I thought she has a song called Ahoy, and it's just this upbeat, exciting song, and I'm like, that would be a fun song to do a level too. Like you could, you know, jump, you could like have pirate ships and stuff, but it's like, you know, like I have all of these ideas that I want to do, but it's kind of like this thing where, you know, but do I have the time and energy and savings to do that?
Do you think that any of these people that you talked about, and like that you're making the fan art or the music from, do you think any of them will be open up to allowing licensing for you to maybe make a game like that? Or add them into your game? You know how some people, they add an extra character into a game?
So they're a business, like, and they have been open to like fans doing stuff in the past. So I mentioned earlier this guy Family Jewels, who does metal remixes of stuff. He did an officially licensed metal remix of one of their songs, and so I feel like that is a possibility. But I have tried to get in touch with them a few times about it, and they haven't been super receptive to it. And it's so, and I'm not getting my hopes up on that end. Like, it was always kind of a long shot, but it is something that I would definitely be interested in doing if they would be interested in doing it. But it's kind of probably not going to happen.
Sorry,
All right,
I mean,
that's
but you
great
never.
stuff. Do you want to finish up with one more question, one more comment, Kevin? We've gone our hour.
Oh
Oh
wow!
wow, an hour's already gone. Wow, that went fast.
That
So
was a fun interview.
I wanted to. I'm sorry. I'm in the office, so I have to like wait for you guys to get the sensor on. Okay. I was gonna ask you: is there anything you like to any kind of advice or mentions that you want to talk or shout out to the fans of your fan of your fan game? Like anything you like to say or?
Well, I mean, so I've gotten a lot of questions from people about like how do I get into game development, especially from other Hololive fans who've found my game and like, wow, how do I make something like this? And I my advice every time is just make games, just like jump in, start doing it. Your first few games are going to suck. Accept that, learn from it, and make the next one better. That there isn't a shortcut to making games. You are going to make mistakes. You're going to make game. This game is barely held together. I don't know how I make any changes. Like I am terrified of going in there and making any changes to the physics because it works, and for the most part, like, and it doesn't seem like that. I know it seems like a pretty polished game, but yeah, I mean, just make games, and your games aren't going to be perfect, but you're going to learn from it. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Great lessons for live streamers and VTubers as well as game devs. Great stuff, Kevin and Kimmiko. Thank you both very much. Remember, everybody, next Tuesday, 7 p.m., join us back here for another meeting on game development. Go out and play all of the Kevin Cow games on itch.io. We've shared the links in chat. Jump on them. Check them out. Check out what Atlanta Gamer Life has coming up. And thanks to everyone in chat for all the crazy stuff they were saying, and especially to both, again, Kimmiko and Kevin Stevens. Thank you. And we'll see you all Tuesday.